Good day, everyone. And our topic for this time is material or our economic self. So we're done with some of our discussions already. So we'll proceed now with this topic. Okay. So let's start this discussion by talking about William James' quote. No? He said that a man's self is the sum total of all that he can call his. So meaning to say, we are not only talking about our psychological, our physical, our emotional aspect, okay, or our mental aspect, but all things that we own or everything that we have is included when we talk about our material self. No? Now, our material possessions significantly influence our sense of self. And what does that mean? No? It significantly influence our sense of self kasi minsan dito natin binabase ang ating goals and aspirations in life. Right? So, may it be conscious or unconscious, some of our important decisions have been caused by economic pursuits. Okay? So now, you're wanting to have your own car, have your own house, no? And because of that, you're trying to study, okay, nag-aaral, dahil sa kagustuhan mong umunlad ang iyong buhay. Gusto mong magkaroon ng sariling bahay, magkaroon ng sariling sasakyan. That's why you're taking your course right now kasi sa tingin mo, this is the course that can elevate you, okay, elevate your stance in life, right? Now, our material self, according to William James, is referring to the tangible objects which we can call as mine, right? So lahat ng material possessions na nakikita ng iba at mga bagay-bagay na binibili mo para sa iyong sarili at pwede mong itong tawagin sa'yo or yours, right? Now, these also are extensions of ourselves as our identities are associated with them. Okay, so let's talk about our phones. These objects, okay, these things are associated with us, with our identities. Bakit? Andun na lahat ng informations mo. What else? Pag gising mo sa umaga, ito agad ang hinahawakan mo. And it's like a need already. And hindi natin sinasabing it's like. Kasi talagang kinakailangan sa panahon ngayon. No? Unlike before that they can wait for letters for months or weeks. But for us, we need it instantly. Kasi kinakailangan na malaman mo kung kunwari nasaan ang iyong asawa, nasaan yung kapatid, yung ina at yung tatay. So, these are already extensions of ourselves. And we associate these objects that we own with our identities. Okay? Now, material self that includes our body, clothes, reputation, and properties, of course. All right. And if a person's possession grew or grows, he would feel successful or he would feel like a part of himself dying. So, meaning to say, sino ba naman ang umuunlad na hindi masaya? Right? Of course, you would feel successful na at last, I was able to fulfill my dreams and I was able to at least nakapagpundar ako para sa aking sarili and para sa aking pamilya. Alright? Now, let's talk about the possessions and behavior. And this is an excerpt, okay, from the psychology of stuffs and things by Jared. Right? Number one here is understanding ownership. Second, envy or jealousy. Attachment object, materialism, sense of identity, conspicuous consumption, membership, loss, and disposal. Alright? let's talk about understanding ownership. Excuse me. Okay. As early as 2 years old, we already understand, or toddlers already understand the concept of ownership. That's why, if you would look at toddlers, okay, during this age, they don't want their possessions or their toys to be shared to others. Iiyak na iiyak ang mga yan. Kasi alam nila that they own that toy, so why are you sharing it to others? No? And by 4 years old, 2 to 4 years old, children assume that the person who first possessed something is always the owner, even if the object was already given away. Okay. So, pag nakita, kunwari, binigay mo ang laruan ng iyong kapatid, na nakakabatang kapatid, sa inyong pinsan. Right? At pag nakita ng kapatid mo ito, sasabihin niyang, akin yan. Right? That's mine. Kasi, yan ang laruan. Laruan ko yan. Bakit niyo bibigay sa iba? Bakit andito ito? Alright? So, that's how they understand ownership. Na kung sino yung unang nagmamayari, sila na palagi ang nagmamayari doon. Alright? And by 6 years old, they already exhibit the endowment effect. Okay, so what does it mean when we talk about endowment effect? Ito yung binibigyan mo ng halaga ang isang bagay na kahit mura ang pagkakabili nito, no? Pero sa tingin mo it has a value kasi binigay ng nanay mo, it was a gift, right? For your sixth birthday. And alam mo na this is very special kasi first time mong magkaroon ng ganitong laruan or magkaroon ng ganitong gift. So, you put value to it na kahit pagtanda mo, okay, alam mo na ayaw mo nang ibigay ito sa iba kasi may sentimental value, as we say. Alright? Now, what about envy or jealousy? Okay. So, we talked about John Piaget during psychological perspective, pero iba dito, no? So Piaget observed that even babies show signs of aggression when their toys are taken away from them and given to someone else. Okay? And this is very evident. Pag nakikita mo yung mga bata, pag binigay mo sa iba yung kanilang laruan, iiyak. They'll cry. Because they know that it's their toy. Parang, they would feel jealous na it's my toy and why are you giving it away? And on his research, he observed that even 22 months old babies in a daycare showed that almost 25% of conflicts was caused by defending a possessed object or wanting to take another's object. Okay? So, ito ang palaging pinag-aawayan. Right? Lalo pa yung mga bata, okay? May mga bata minsan bigla-bigla lang inaagaw ang laro ng iba. And anong gagawin ng nagmamayari ng toy? Siyempre, they would defend it. And pag nakuha na ng iba, of course, they'll cry. Because it's their toy and it was taken away. So, the observation of Piaget says that 25%, medyo mataas na yan, no? 25% of a conflict is caused by defending or wanting to take another's object or a toy. Right? Now, okay, look at this. Yung isa nag-enjoy sa kakalaro, yung isa naman, parang umiiyak na kasi inagaw sa kanya yung kanyang laruan. Now, attachment object. Okay, so most children have a favorite toy or object with which they have intense relationships. Okay? And I think most of you, okay, meron pa din, naaalala nyo pa din kung ano yung mga laruan nyo na talagang paborito na yun nung bata pa kayo, na talagang um, until now is very memorable. Now, a child would normally respond in horror if someone would get his favorite toy or even make a copy of it. So, this may be explained by their magical thinking that somehow that special object has a unique essence. Okay? Na ang ang kung ito ay kakaiba. Okay? Kaya naka, minsan kinakausap ng mga bata ang kanilang laruan. Kunwari, a teddy bear. Kumain ka na ba? Right? You wanna play? Especially if a child is playing alone. Right? So, this kind of thinking reappears in adulthood in the form of sentimental value, heirlooms, and mementos. Okay, so kaya nga yung mga iba, kahit mga dried leaves already or dried petals of rose na binigay sa kanila ng kanilang boyfriend or their loved ones na first gift or first flower received from someone, okay, nung nag-dry na, inipit-ipit pa sa libro, no? Kasi it has a sentimental value. Kahit sabihin natin matagal na, at least the memory is still there. Right? Now, what about materialism? So, when children aged between 8 and 18 were interviewed regarding what makes them happy, okay, materialism was seen to peak during middle adolescence, that's 15 to 17 years old, and this is the time when self-esteem tends to be lowest. Bakit? Alright. So, as of this time, no, bakit materialistic ang mga teenagers sa ganitong edad? Kasi this is already, if you listen to my discussion before on Eric Erickson's psychosocial development, this is the time for identity and role confusion. Okay? Kaya papalit-palit ang kailangang wardrobe, mga damit, ano pa. And physiologically, nagbabago din ang mga pangangatawan. Kaya ang mga ito yung nagkaka-pimples na, what else, nagkakaroon na ng changes sa body. Wherein, sa mga changes na ito, mas ginugusto pa ng mga teenagers na magkaroon ng bagong damit, bagong phone, para kunwari sabihin na lang to fit sa society. Kaya to lessen materialism is to let adolescents have a sense of self-worth and achievement seems to be effective in lessening their materialistic attitude. So, complementing that they don't need material things to be accepted in a society. Alright? So, hindi naman kinakailangan ng mga ito basta tulungan sila or let them be appreciated in their stuffs, no? To support them to lessen materialistic attitude. Right? Now, what about sense of identity? All right, research was conducted, and when research participants' brains were scanned, the areas known to be associated with thinking about the self were activated when they were shown objects which were labeled with mind. Okay? So, makikita dito na we tend to associate our identity with the objects that we own. Okay? It's like extensions of ourselves already. That we associate our identity with the objects that we have or the things we bought for ourselves, right? Now, that we create associates between our identities and the things we own. Yan ang sinasabi ko kanina, right? Now, what about product image congruity, right? So congruence with the product. Okay, so we tend to buy products which are congruent to our sense of self. We use brands, product designs, logos, and fashion styles to communicate our self concept. Okay, so communicating our self concept by buying products that we think is congruent with our sense of self or with our identity. Okay, so ano yung mga usual na binibili mong gamit? Kunwari, let's say about a brand of clothes. Ikaw ba yung talagang brand ng damit mo is about Levi's or Lee, what else? Uniqlo, what else? Okay? So, madaming brand ng damit. And you are buying this product because you think this product suits you and it represents yourself. Okay? Sino ba naman kasing bibili ng isang bagay na sa tingin nila hindi bagay sa kanila? Right? So we buy products that is congruent with our self-concept. Okay. Now, conspicuous consumption is the public display of economic power by spending much money on luxurious goods to communicate socio-economic status. So, are you that person who really consumes a lot of money or spends a lot of money just to show your socio-economic status or not? Okay, so it's a public display. Ito yung pinapakita mo sa mga ibang tao that you're a person who can buy this kind of thing, this kind of car. Okay, kunwari sasakyan na pang racing, which is para lang sa mga may pera talaga. Okay? And that's all about conspicuous consumption. What about membership? Okay? So our possession of certain things can signal association with specific social groups na yung mga bagay na kinahiligan mo, right, ay pwedeng mang-akit ng iba na magkaroon ng kunwari groups of people who are fond of buying materials like wood carvings, okay, and this can entail membership. You can create social groups about this, no? Na kayo ang mga grupo na talagang mahilig sa ganitong produkto, okay, and pwedeng makaroon ng group or have more members if mas madami ang mga tao na nagkakaroon ng kahiligang ganito or ganyan. Okay? Now, let's talk about loss, right? So, the more that our belongingness are linked with our identities, the more precious they become. If they're destroyed, lost, or stolen, okay, valuables can cause grief or trauma. Or, I mean, if they're destroyed, lost, or stolen, these valuables can cause grief or trauma. Okay? I know some of you nakaranas ng, kunwari, pickpocket sa Session Road or sa Harrison Road dito sa Baguio. Okay? If meron man, or if you've experienced this somewhere, or biglang nawala ang wallet mo, na andun lahat ng ATM mo, mga IDs mo, what else, mga resibo na kinakailangan. Losing those things would make you really cry kasi andun na lahat-lahat eh. Wala ang natira sa'yo. So, of course, um, it could traumatize you if, to the point na talagang you don't have the appetite to eat, nakangganang makipag-usap. Kasi nga, sino ba naman ang matutuwa? Right? Pag nawalan. Right? And last is about disposal. So there are also times when we intentionally let go of possessions. So this may become a symbolism of having a new start, like when you gave away your toys when you were a child, or when you threw some mementos from a past relationship. Okay, so it's like car base, you shed some of your belongings to have a new identity. Okay, so it's not just merely disposing things, but it's showing that you as a person can really start to a new life, a new beginning. Okay, so that's our discussion for today. Okay, um, thank you for listening for this discussion. Okay, see you on my other videos. Thank you so much and have a good day.